Behind every great result, there's a story of innovation and collaboration.
There's a lot more collaboration between our customer and us, and it's because we can share data.
Our Prophecy software customers aren't just clients, they're partners in progress. For more than 20 years, we've worked with you to accelerate the digital revolution and drive real results within your industrial operations.
The software takes production data and used to make sure that machine operators and managers are able to make the right decisions at the right time.
Prophecy isn't just a tool, it's the engine driving your success forward, and the solution enabling your enterprise to decrease costs, increase profits, reduce waste, improve efficiency, and much more.
The data's in the Prophecy system.
But it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. Together, we empower teams, accelerate innovation, and drive toward a future that's brighter, more sustainable, and more profitable than ever before. We invite you to experience the power of smart and sustainable operations with Prophecy from GE Vernova.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. It's a pleasure for me to welcome you all to our session, Power Up Your Skills with SCADA Ultimate Solutions and Training. Today's event is part of our systems integrator educational series we call Tech Talk, and it's intended to raise awareness and knowledge of new products, enhancements, and technology trends with a goal to help SIs improve productivity, solve customer challenges, and uncover new revenue opportunities. So my name is Paul Adams, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm the director of the Solution Provider Program in the Americas. As a system integrator, your expertise is invaluable to your customers, and today we intend to provide you with information that can help further value to your install base. Let me introduce the speakers that will be here today. First of all, Jimmy Felice. Jimmy's a senior product manager here at GE Vernova with over 25 years of automation software experience. Jimmy is a well-known expert within HMI, SCADA, and data management. He's developed and managed software that is a foundation for plant automation at thousands of sites, ranging from water, wastewater, power, automotive, stadiums, airports, and more. Mike is our director of strategic programs and operations and education, has worked for GE for over 18 years. He's incredibly critical to our team and will tell us about the trainings that are available to you that can help you be better equipped to onboard new employees, upskill older ones, stand out in the marketplace, deliver more efficiently and successfully to our mutual clients. So I'm always going to stress training, and I know I reach out to many of you for training, but strengthening your profile as a system integrator really helps us, identify the strong system integrators that we can put in front of our customers. So today we're going to learn about SCADA Ultimate, our latest offering designed to seamlessly combine SCADA, Historian, analytics together. And then Mike's going to go through the newest training opportunities available and how to maximize benefits across our product portfolio. A safe harbor slide. As you know, we may be talking about future roadmap enhancements that are not committed right now. So you can always check back with us on the latest releases and what's in there for when they roll out. Just a few things on housekeeping that we do. There you see a lot of buttons on the application that you can see and go through. So the orange chat bubble, you can submit questions throughout the session. We'll be sure to answer them either during this session or follow up via email. But enter your questions early and often, and we'll get to those. The purple mail icon, you can contact myself for more information on our Solution Provider Program, and please use that. Reach out to me. I always want to have two-way conversations with our SIs and how I can help support you better in the field. The blue paperclip icon, you can access several additional resources, including access to training and product information, as well as additional ways to hear updates from us. Through the question mark button, you can get technical assistance, but on this platform, refreshing your browser usually fixes a lot of problems. And then finally, the pink clipboard icon, where we'd love to hear your feedback and what you're experiencing with the customers. And that's very important for us to improve our program. So please fill that out. What's working, what's not working. Would love to follow up with you in that regard. We are also recording this webinar, and when it's made available, we will send the slides and the recording over to you so you can see those as well. So now we'll go to the main event, and Jimmy Felice, I'll send it over to you to talk about SCADA Ultimate.
Thanks, Paul. And thanks everyone for joining today. As Paul mentioned, I'm going to go through a new commercial offering that we're just releasing and can help provide yourselves and your customers some additional value. So what we've done is we've come out with a new offering called Prophecy SCADA Ultimate. And the concept is to provide basically the everything you kind of need for a smart SCADA solution today in one simple bundle. And that includes the HMI SCADA, data and analytics, as well as your data storage, all in one simplified pricing model, essentially. So the idea is that it does go beyond your typical SCADA system. It will include our analytics, as I mentioned, and the other kind of key thing is it does have some native connectivity across the applications, which really does, and just the combination of the things together does help with getting additional insights into your system. So I'm going to go through a little bit of the details now in terms of what it is, what you get, and how we're pricing it. So one of the big changes is ultimately the licensing. Just a few key points. The idea is that basically what we're doing is we've got one really key pricing metric, and that is tags. So the concept is you just tell us how many tags you want, or for your customer, how many tags they need that would be inclusive of the SCADA, historian, and the analytics. And it's all one price tag. It does include clients and viewers, and I'll go through some of the details on that. So, for most applications, we're providing a defined set of HMI SCADA clients, and those clients can be used across the entire solution. If any of you have started looking at our original Prophecy SCADA model, you'll kind of already understand the concept, but the idea is that customers can allocate these licenses as needed across their systems. So essentially what we're doing, or what we're allowing them to do is, I'll just go to the next slide for an example, makes it a little easier. But the idea is that, as an example, if you purchase 100,000 tags, those tags can be assigned to multiple SCADA servers, multiple historians, and multiple analytics. So here it shows a centralized analytics, but you could actually have small analytic along the way as well. The idea is that you purchase the 100,000 tags. Those tags can be assigned to SCADA, which is inclusive of Simplicity or iFix. It can be assigned to historian, and it can be assigned to CSense. So that's really the example you see on the right with, where I've used up 100,000 tags and, I've got it allocated across different servers. So here I've shown only 2 SCADA servers. If, at site 2, all of a sudden I find that I might want to split it up, I can go into the licensing software on the SCADA and say, okay, I want to take 20,000 tags away from SCADA number 2 and put them on SCADA number 3 and have a third SCADA, as an example. Or if I have some remaining ones, like the 7,000 in the example, I could assign them to one of those. This is all available within the for the SCADA right now. It's available with the licensing software. What we do is we provide groups of 1,000 tags that customers can self-allocate, or you guys can allocate on behalf of the customer based on their architecture. So this is a bit of the what. we do include, as I mentioned, visualization and those clients. So what we've done is we include a set number of clients based on how many tags purchased. And those clients can be assigned to any client type, whether it's our operations hub, if you want the new web-based visualization, the traditional FIT clients, web space clients, or terminal service clients. The idea is that, again, if you've got 40 clients, which would be an example in this case, you can say, I want 10 on Operations Hub, 5 on Web Space, 10 on Terminal Services, and so on. So the customer, again, can, we can modify what a client type's being used with no additional charge. Again, the idea behind both of these is to provide ultimately some flexibility to the customer as needs change, as architecture changes come in. If something's not performing enough because it's gotten too big and you want to split it up, it's all included as part of the licensing model. You just reassign those tags as needed. We do start at 10,000 tags, so meaning that's the smallest number of pool tags you can purchase, and then those can be assigned accordingly. And as I mentioned before, it is in 1,000 tag increments. And we do also have several volume-based price decreases as the number of tags goes up. You get it at a lower price per tag as the system size increases as well. So ultimately, the idea here is to provide your customers with really the ultimate flexibility around, how the system's architected. And when architectural changes are required, or you guys are in the middle of the project and something changes at the customer site, and now you need to split things up, for example, you don't have to go back and purchase new servers. You just reassign the tags as needed. As long as you've got the total number of tags correct, then you can split them. You can just redistribute them, or obviously you can add more as well as needed. But again, that's kind of how the system is licensed. Today, the we are, this is, I'll say, we've had several early adopters as we've had this model done manually. The self-policing of SCADA is available. Right now, you would have to come to us if you need to split up Historian or something like that. But again, that would be at no charge, assuming it's within the number of tags. And we will be releasing the self-management for the Historian as well mid next year. So again, just some of the kind of key things from to help you discuss this with your customers. Again, the idea is that, hey, we're including all our different client types, so you can have a mix and match on that. Provides flexibility. One of the things some of our customers will do is slowly start, as they start looking towards updating their HMI, whether it's for high performance graphics or just a shift maybe to start using more of Operations Hub. The nice thing about it is that you can start with the thick clients and slowly start migrating them, or assign some to the web clients and have both running in parallel, and as the system gets shifted over type of thing. So it really gives some flexibility around that as well. As mentioned, we are also including our C-Sense tools, to really help. A lot of our customers are still trying to figure out how to get going on leveraging things like analytics, AI, or machine learning type of, and how that might impact them. The idea here is, hey, the system's included. All you have to do is just assign, the minimum amount of 1,000 tags to it, and you can start that journey. So again, the idea would be that, by assigning some to it, you can start, analyzing some of the data, maybe start looking at how analytics can help them get going. And the other thing I think, which is really a benefit for this group of this community, is we are providing the full version of C-Sense. So really it's just how many tags you want to assign to it. So the customer will already have it. So, if they are, and what you'll find, just because of some of the price breaks, customer will end up with some I'll call it unused tags, I guess, for lack of a better term. So they'll have the software, and I think that's a good opportunity for this group to really have the discussion with customer, if they do want to start going down that journey. The software's there, they just probably need someone to help them. So I think that's where the opportunity is. The idea here is that it's also kind of for scale as well. The idea is that instead of purchasing a license, per, I'll call it system or per site, you can start to now use this as a way of having enterprise licensing for the customers as well. So idea is as they grow, they can add more tags. It just gets on the pool. They can assign them accordingly, and really provides a lot of flexibility as well. So as mentioned, it really does help, by providing some of the analytic tools. They can start working with that. It's easy to adopt and adapt as the system goes. As the system grows, just based on the kind of the structure of the pricing, they can potentially have some room in their tags, available tags, so they can start looking towards the future. The fact that we do provide now with the licensing deployment as well. That's deployment of the licenses. You're able to be at a central location and say, hey, I want to put another 10,000 tags at system 1. All that is handled centrally, so you can really deploy out those licenses easily as well. And this just sort of to kind of really illustrate what does it look like compared to the standard pricing. Because it is, and I think I mentioned it, I probably skimmed over that part. This is a term or subscription based solution. So the idea now is you're buying a term. With that term license, you do get acceleration plan included. So that, whereas it's optional on the standard, a la carte licensing, I'll call it. The a la carte is fixed. The ultimate is flexible, where you can assign tags across the system. We are including the development environment for all the servers. So when you say, I'm going to deploy another iFix server, another Simplicity server, that server does come with the development automatically. So there's no purchasing of development licenses. The clients can also be development clients. If they do need some additional, they can assign some of the client types to development if needed. But the servers do come with a development automatically, as well as a terminal service client in case the customer needs to remotely administer, or you guys need to help remotely administer that server as well. The clients of any type, as mentioned, that's ultimately any of those clients I've mentioned already are included as part of this solution. And we do include the historian as well. So the idea here is we're only providing the essentials version on standard, but you do get the full version with ultimate. So, and that includes things like the alarm logging and what you'd expect for a SCADA or a historian that's part of a SCADA solution. Those components are included. And we also do include some analytics with the C-Sense tools. There's about five different included analytics that we can include within with that C-Sense tool. So as an example, I believe there's an alarm pattern recognition that helps understand the root cause of alarms. So every time an alarm occurs, it looks for patterns of what led up to that alarm, so you can kind of roll it back and find out where things started going wrong. There's a PID health one, as well as some ML and AI and a couple others. But the idea is that we do include some of the analytics with that tool. As I mentioned, the support around acceleration plan is also included with that subscription bundle as well. And then we've really simplified things like redundancy. It's one checkbox and the entire system just becomes redundant as well. And then some of the other options are still options like electronic signature and alarm notification and things like that. So again, the idea was to have a whole bunch of things just automatically included, one simple price, and it's all there. You get the full versions of the software, and it's just a matter of how things want to be allocated when the system is put in place. So again, we are providing the fully capable tools. And since we've actually been working with early adopter customers on this, we've used it for several months now, and we've had customers that have purchased it and started working with it. Where we found the attraction of this versus, sort of the traditional is the fact that they do get that flexibility across the systems. So the licensing flexibility, something the customers have liked, as well as having sort of that AI/ML offering included, so they can start that journey as well. Even if they're not ready to go right away, they know all they have to do is assign some tags to it and start moving. And I think that provides you guys with some incremental service opportunities as well. So with that, I am going to pass it over to Michael, and he's going to cover some of the education updates for us.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Yep.
I guess we're going to have some more work to do to get that SCADA Ultimate information into training as well for everybody out there. Hi, everyone.
Absolutely.
Michael Nagy, Prophecy Education Services. I help lead a team here that takes care of most of the education we have for our user base out there, whether it's customers, solution providers, channel, or even GE Vernova employees. We share the education we have to all those audiences. So it's purpose-built for all the practitioners with our software. So please definitely take advantage of it for yourselves, but also recommend it to your customers and things like that. A lot of it is included in the acceleration plan. We'll actually possibly touch on that a little bit later. Recent change to our site, the learning platform where most of this training is accessed. We changed our domain name just last night. We are now GEVernova-education.com. We were previously GEdigital-learning.com. We have redirectors on it, so if you have it bookmarked, that's all great and everything. It'll still forward you over. Nothing else has changed. It's just the domain name change that's happened to update to our current status at GE Vernova. I will proceed with a quick recap of what's happened this year. I haven't had a chance to talk to this audience in a webinar this year, so I will quickly recap the investments we've made in education throughout the year. As you can see, first quarter, we started with a new series for Prophecy Simplicity. This is a basic series where you can download the software as a demo or a trial, or use the software that you've already purchased as part of your licensing agreement. And you can get to work at our site with building a new project. This is great for onboarding new talent. It's also good for learning the new features. If you need to do that, if you haven't touched Simplicity in a bit, you can go do that. So that course is available. We have similar courses like that for iFix, Historian, Operations Hub, CSense, and now Plan Applications as well. And you'll see the theme, it comes up again in the subsequent quarters. So this has been around for about 9 months. Definitely take advantage of it. Our licensing, very applicable to what we were just seeing here with SCADA Ultimate. We have a 2-part series. It's fully online. You don't need to attend any events or anything like that for that. It's 24/7, 365. Anywhere on the planet, you can log in and learn about how to administer the licensing. It might seem like that's a fairly straightforward thing, but we live in a day and age where we can deploy multi-site, multi-continent, multi-company, all sorts of different things going on there. There's no fewer than, I think, 9 different deployment scenarios that are user-based that we had to adjust to with our licensing regime. Those have been covered in that training as well. So definitely, if you're finding you need to figure out maybe how to do something new that you haven't done in the past with licensing, visit that course. It might help out. Big investment in Prophecy CSense, a lot of the analytics, the AI/ML sort of dip your toe in the water solution that we have that Jimmy was referring to in the SCADA Ultimate slides. We've got 2 series there. One's a 5-part series to kind of just get you going. It's e-learning. There's no practical component to it. Really, you're just learning about the solution and all the terms and terminology in there, sort of all the outcomes that can come from it. The 4-part series that followed it is hands-on. It's the same thing as that Prophecy Simplicity series, where you have a deployed version of the product local, and you go to work building a project with some best practices and examples that we've built into the platform. So all of these series that I'm saying here, they're linked in this slideshow. So when we send this out, you'll be able to see at least the titles. You might even be able to link straight to the training. All right, so that was first quarter. Second quarter, moving right along. Historian, Scheduler, and Operations Hub all receive new training. Okay, this is all at our site. Again, it's all available to you as part of your program entitlements. So you can get an account if you need it. If you already have an account, log in and start right away. 6-part series on Historian, a 3-part series that's very similar for Scheduler. This is an MES solution that we pair up with Plant Applications often, but it can be a standalone solution as well. So that one had a whole bunch of new training because that's a new acquisition that we brought on board this year. The Prophecy Scheduler solution is now fully in-house. We've got those 5 different courses that are available for it. A 3-part introductory series, a video collection on how to configure and move around in it, and then a what's new to describe what happened with the latest release. That what's new type training, where it's an incremental training course that'll kind of go over what's changed in the product in the latest version, that's becoming a theme. We are now adding that as a standard release for most of our products as they come out. As they are issued a new product release, we will issue a what's new, so you can quickly get up to speed in about 15 to 20 minutes on what's new in there, maybe get some configuration tips with the new features and solutions. All right, Prophecy Operations Hub, we refreshed that. That's a constantly evolving solution for us. So we updated the series to basically the latest version, and you'll be able to walk through that as you see there. More recently, the third quarter here, we did release 3 more collections of courses. Prophecy Cloud, kind of getting yourself started with cloud if you haven't been there, or if you have, just kind of being able to reframe it in the context of what we're doing today in automation control and MES. So it's a quick primer. We're talking 20 minutes max, each of these courses, to kind of get you set or level set on the main messaging, but also the main capabilities of the solutions, starting with just the cloud computing transition, moving from a world that we're all very familiar with, past 3 decades of automation controls, into what's coming, soon with, or now is here now with, whether it's data center support or full cloud SaaS solutions. What those are going to look like, how to work with AWS and Azure, what some of the key differentiators between them, what some of the things you'll have to consider if you become a partner for those companies for deployment capabilities and things like that. And then looking at the core Prophecy products that are cloud supported right now, Historian, Smart Factory, and then looking at the integration basics there. I've been through some of that series myself. It's quite helpful, definitely getting you going over that, the terminology and many of the different facets of planning and what to get yourself ready for. It is a different world, but it's definitely nothing we can't handle. So let's take advantage of it. If you get some time, go in there and check it out. Tracker has just a quick refresh on a 3-part series there, just to get you going with it, moving a lot more of the capability online rather than to infrequently run events for that training. So it's available now in a series. Definitely check that out. And then Common Components. This is growing. It started with 2 courses, but it's going to be all the way up to 7. And this has to do with a lot of your web stack security needs. So if you're very familiar with the Windows networking and the security needs that are there, this is layering on your web stack security needs, cyber security needs on top of it, out of the box what we have, but also how to maintain and manage all the different certificate needs and security needs within the Prophecy solution set. The first 2 were released in third quarter, Basics and Prophecy Solutions. As you'll see on the next page, we've got more coming. We've got Historian and Plant Applications coming next, just in the next couple of weeks here. And then further out, we will also be including iFix and Simplicity. All right, fourth quarter, the quarter we're in right now, more training, just this onslaught, flood of training coming quarter after quarter. Ops Hub got its own 4-part series. Install Ops Hub and work with it in a practical, tangible way. So it's hands-on training. You lead yourself through it at your own pace. There's no instructor attending it. Very similar to that Simplicity and C-Sense training that we saw earlier in the year that was released. Plant applications, same thing. We have a plant applications basic series where it's 5 courses to lead you through from getting started all the way through to deployment and maintenance on plant applications. It's about 2 hours a piece, each of those courses. So when you see these series with the practical hands-on, you're looking at aggregate investments of about 10 hours of training. It's not a full replacement for the instructor-led training, but it's very close. So it's one of those things that you can invest in definitely with your newer people, or just as a refresher if you need to strengthen up on a product you haven't seen in a while. The What's New series that I alluded to earlier, it's also available now for Operations Hub and Plant Applications. Obviously, as we have new releases for things like iFix and Simplicity, you'll see it there as well. And what it's meant to be that incremental training that's a smaller investment, definitely not 10 hours, more like 20 minutes, to find out just exactly what's new and different and how it might impact some of your customers' installations. Coming soon. More. All right, so the common components for iFix Simplicity and HMI Thin clients will be released early next year. We're expecting that to basically fulfill that 7-part secure communications series that's required for sort of modern HMI SCADA, modern MES, that includes the web stack security needs. Prophecy Scheduler will get its own 4-part series to extend sort of the information that we've got there as our first phase, moving into phase 2 of it, and it will also include a scheduler builder badge. So the builder badge program being some of what's involved in certifying our partners and then helping to co-market and helping to co-promote them on websites and things like that. There will be one for scheduler that's coming as well. iFix and Operations Hub will be updating those courses, the ILT courses, ILT being instructor-led training. These are the event-based trainings that usually take about a week to deliver, aggregate time, start to finish, usually between 16 and 32 hours of training, all hands-on with an expert. We're refreshing that for both Ops Hub and Operations Hub and iFix. So those will be coming. You'll see more next year investment in instructor-led training. We're definitely not abandoning it as a delivery modality. It's still very important. It's definitely a premium service, but we are going to be continuing to invest in that training and adding to it as we go along. And then we have upcoming a Prophecy Executive Series. This is a very brief backgrounder on the solutions that can be presented to almost anybody with no experience of Prophecy, maybe even very little controls and automation experience. It's like an executive summary of the so what about the product. So we use it as the lead course in an onboarding curriculum, for instance. Okay, and it can be obviously something that you can use as a selling tool. You can also use it to start people on deeper training tracks if they're required later on. But we're using it as basically a executive summary prerequisite kind of course that'll begin and launch as a springboard to other training. All right, a couple things that might not have been pointed out or might not have made it to everybody yet. We do have an accreditation element to what we do at the learning platform as well. So you take all your training there, and that can be your own e-learning, video-based training, that practical hands-on training that I was talking about, as well as enrolling in the instructor-led training events. But as you accumulate all this knowledge and expertise in our products, you can actually sign up to take a test on those products. It's a very technical exam. It's not really a selling exam. It's more of a technical exam where it's 50 questions in 50 minutes, where you basically strut your stuff with how well you know the product. And at the end of it, you can win a builder badge. We have them available in the automation space for iFix, Simplicity, Historian, and Operations Hub. We also have a collection that are available for MES. It's an overlap, Plant Application with Historian and Operations Hub, and then the Scheduler Builder badge coming soon. And then we also have C-Sense. C-Sense can be used in either one interchangeably. It's an added builder badge exam that's available. So these are, accessible through your login at the learning platform. They are listed in the catalog alongside all the training. And when you start them, they are timed. So it's not 50 minutes all week, it's 50 minutes right now. And that's actually part of the the exam criteria is that it has to be done in the 50 minutes. It's timed. Once it's done, successfully, you'll have your results reported to the solution provider program directors, and they have a set of other activities that they take care of: notifications, communications, celebrations, things like that. But I just wanted to remind everybody that the builder badges are available to this audience, and they are available on demand. They don't require the training. Strongly recommended that you take the training. They can be kind of difficult. So that's all I have for today. I don't know if there's any questions coming, but I'll pass it back to Nida. She can take care of things from here.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Nida Amjad, and I work on the marketing team. Just wanted to take a couple of minutes to kind of talk about the branding. I know we had a really big rebranding earlier this year, where we became GE Vernova. We got a different brand. And most importantly, what I want to talk about is we should no longer be using this old sort of blue GE meatball anymore. So ideally, we've been sending out emails, I think, for the past few months now, but just like a gentle reminder where if you have anything on your website or your marketing materials, it should no longer be this blue meatball, and it should instead be this green GE Vernova. There's also a white version of this GE Vernova logo anywhere on your website and your marketing materials. And ideally, we would love if this can be done by the end of December. So from this date, that's roughly 3 weeks. There are some legal implications for us if that doesn't happen. I know some of the team has also been reaching out to various partners as well, just doing audit checks on your websites. So if you've received those communications from us, please follow through with us and just let us know that you've updated it. On that note, there are a lot of misspellings that we see of GE Vernova. Sometimes it's spelled out to say GE, or sometimes we're referred to as General Electric or just Vernova. So again, we just want to make sure that we're standardizing however and wherever we talk about ourselves. And we are always purely just GE Vernova. Anytime you're talking to your customers or anytime you're putting out a LinkedIn post or an email, we're promoting that sort of joint partnership. And that brings us to, we have a whole heck of a lot of product names, and those should also not be truncated. This is a lot to remember. So we will be sending this out after the call and also on our LinkedIns and Seismics, but just want to make sure that we're also talking about our product naming the right way, right? So we're not talking about Ops Hub, we are Prophecy Operations Hub, or it's not Historian, it's Prophecy Historian. Again, just making sure that we're always talking about everything in a very standardized way, so that people can very easily find us on the internet, or they're not, or our customers don't, start mispronouncing our product naming or anything either. And we're going to be adding this deck over to Seismic, which you guys should all have access to. This is specifically for integrators. This has all of these Tech Talk series that we've been talking about. It has, YouTube playlists. It has sales kits that help you sell. Also has links to our LinkedIn and all the other great work that the wider team is doing, such as the Prophecy Unified Launch webinars or Coffee with an Expert or Ask an Expert that you may have seen around as well. So really biggest thing is we are GE Vernova, we are not GE, and to please use that green GE logo and to update that across your websites before the end of the year. So with that, I will pass it off to Paul Adams again.
Thank you, Nida. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Jimmy. As we wait for questions to come in and look at that orange icon on your screen to enter questions, I want to direct your attention to the pink survey icon. Again, we'd love to hear your feedback around today's session, as well as what you're hearing from your customers. So please take a few minutes to fill this out so we can better serve your needs. A few other things as system integrators, you're entitled to free instructor-led training seats, depending on the level of your membership. Don't forget about this benefit. So if you see a course you want to take, reach out to me and we can ensure that you take advantage of those benefits. Also, the certifications and training, Mike did a great job of showing you of what is available, what's coming. There's always new content being put there. I'm always reaching out, trying to get our system integrators to complete more certifications because it makes your profile stronger. And if you go to our partner finder where each system integrator is listed, when you have certifications, those show up under your company, right? So it really shows customers who are looking for system integrators who's a strong candidate to contact. So please take some time to complete those certifications as we complete that. There's many ways to connect with us. As Nida said, I want to make sure you have access to that seismic. There's a lot of information there. We also have our LinkedIn group for the solution provider program that we put out a lot of information on. And we have newsletters as well that you should be getting as well. So if you're not getting those, please reach out to me and I'll make sure that you're getting on those going forward. So with that, we'll start the Q&A, and let me see, boy, a bunch of questions here. Let's see. Okay, first one, what is with Prophecy Smart Factory? Is this part of the Prophecy family? Jimmy, do you want to take that? Jimmy, you there?
Sorry, I had to unmute. Yeah, it is part of the Prophecy family. Basically, the Prophecy Smart Factory is kind of similar to what we did with the SCADA Ultimate, but it's more on the MES side of things. So think of it as it's a bundled solution for manufacturing MES type applications, versus more the SCADA Ultimate's more for the automation side of things. But yeah, it is part of the Prophecy family.
If you'd like, I can quickly list off what's in it. Just so
go ahead. Yeah.
Sure. So Smart Factory it could be SaaS or not. It really is available in the different deployment methods, but it's Plan Applications, Historian, Operations Hub, and Scheduler. So it's the full package of MES solutions, sort of tied together, integrated. If you get it as a SaaS platform, obviously it's all together. If you're doing it on-prem or whatnot, you're responsible for deploying it as a coherent group.
Great. Thank you, guys. So about the training, are all these trainings free of charge? Mike, I'll let you take that.
So that's a good question. Actually everything that I showed is released this year is no charge with an acceleration plan. So if your customer has an acceleration plan, they can access that training. And as a solution provider, everybody on this call is a member of the acceleration plan, whether you know it or not. That's one of the things that comes with your membership in the program. Channel and GE Vernova employees are also taking most of that training for free. So what's not free is the question. Well, okay, if everything's free, what's not free? Well, for solution providers, it's a little more complicated in that it's usually instructor-led training is what you have to pay for, but solution providers have an entitlement to that as well as part of that program entitlement. It depends on your tier. If you're a member tier, you have one instructor-led training seat per year in one of our training events. If you're at the gold tier, it's 2, and for platinum, it's 3 and up. So most of the training, most of the titles are accessible at no charge. And really you have to look at, if you're doing a lot of consumption of ILT, you'll have to probably pay for some of it at a discount. That's also one of the entitlements of the solution provider program.
Thank you, Mike. One other thing I'll mention there, one of the feedbacks we've gotten from the field is, hey, how can we get shorter, quicker, impactful training sessions? And Mike and the team have created a lot of these short training sessions that are available to you, and all those are free up there. We also have a YouTube channel with videos, et cetera, that may be helpful. That information's on the Seismic site. So if you're not aware of that, reach out to us as well, and we can help you get on that as well. Okay. Next question. How does SCADA Ultimate compare to other offerings in the market? Jimmy.
Yeah, it is actually, and I know I didn't get into pricing since things vary around the world and things like that, but it's actually a very competitive offering. As mentioned, we kind of include everything, including clients in there. And I know a lot of our competitors will come out with unlimited this and unlimited that. The reality is that there's no such thing as unlimited. It's always based on system size, how much data you're processing and all that kind of thing. So what we've done at the 10,000, sort of that starting level, it's extremely competitive with some of those offerings that we do see in the market with the unlimited everything. And then as it grows, because we're actually, like you could buy 500,000 tags, 1 million tags if you are looking at a more enterprise level system, because the way that we've structured the price per tag type of thing, as it goes higher, adding another server, with some of our competitors means you're buying the clients and the whole system again. Whereas now you're just saying, hey, I need to put 20,000 tags of my 500,000 tag pool on this server kind of thing. So we found that it is extremely competitive. And if you guys have any thoughts or opportunities of where this might apply, we can definitely work with you, or channel partners that you might be working with can also work with you on that. But the starting point's extremely competitive, and because of the scaling, it really helps as systems grow as well.
Yep. Next one, any chance for SCADA Ultimate to start at a lower number of tags instead of 10K as 5K or 1K?
So the answer is no, only because when you start pooling different systems, you kind of, with a starting point of 1,000 groups, there's not much room there. However, we do have our so we've got 2 levels of Prophecy SCADA in the models. There's Prophecy SCADA and Prophecy SCADA Ultimate. The regular Prophecy SCADA does start at 1,000 and allows, so you could buy a 1,000 tag system, and it's actually, again, very competitively priced at that level. You can buy 5,000, 10,000, and then it does give you a lower cost of entry. Otherwise, at that point, we'd say, hey, for really small systems, we also have, the traditional model and the OEM model. It doesn't include the full Historian in those cases, but you do get Historian Essentials, which includes, I think, up to 1,000 permanent tags anyway. So if it's a super small system, you're going to get 1,000 Historian tags as an example anyway. And it also has a 2,500 tag buffer as well. So meaning after 200 days that it starts knocking off the data. But for super small systems, that might be enough anyway. So we probably have to get into details of what you're running into there. And again, you can work with us or your channel partner on that. But yeah, we had to kind of pick a bottom just based on, the fact that you're going to start putting it across different servers, and it just, there's a point of where it just doesn't make any sense anymore. So, but yeah, we do have other options we can look at for smaller systems if needed.
Hey, Jimmy. Next one, I think this is for Mike. Are there in-depth training for advanced users?
It depends on the product solution, but yes, absolutely. We have it at both online and instructor-led. So both Simplicity and iFix have advanced courses. There's actually a scripting course for iFix as well that would be considered advanced. And then in Historian and Ops Hub and Plant Applications, we do have, Plant Applications has 2 or 3 tiers of training. So it actually does develop quite well into advanced applications. But Historian and Ops Hub, it's mostly online when you find the advanced training. For Historian, an example would be distributed applications, where you start putting server-to-server collectors and distributed collectors and security schemes and things like that. So yes, the answer is yes, with all that qualifying afterwards.
Thank you, Mike. And I would also mention that, for advanced users, I'd expect you to complete all the badge exams and the certifications. And then we have access to our business consultants as well. So if you have more advanced needs or whatever, we can always schedule some time with them as well. Does Prophecy SCADA Ultimate work with older versions?
I can take that, I guess. I don't know if I'm trying to remember if I mentioned it or not, but so because we've added a new licensing capability where, again, you could go on your license manager and say, put 10,000 tags over on this server over here, we did have to modify the products to recognize that new licensing. So the new Ultimate works with version 2024 and newer. The older versions of, whether it's iFix, Simplicity as an example, don't recognize that new licensing, so you wouldn't see the tags ultimately. So I guess the answer is no. You need to be on 2024 and later for that one. And by the way, on that note, I mean, a lot of our customers have actually converted from their traditional iFix, Simplicity, clients, etc. model to SCADA Ultimate, and converted from kind of that perpetual to term. So if you do run into that, definitely work with our channel partners and stuff. The concept there is, hey, you're getting all this. You'll get for not much more in most cases than what they'd be normally paying for APE. They'd be getting all this additional capability as well. So just something to consider if you do have a customer that's maybe on older versions, going to upgrade anyway. It might be something to look at, making sure they're aware of the offer, because it could help them from a flexibility moving forward, as well as some of those new capabilities I spoke about.
The next question is very similar for both Simplicity or iFix. It says, what level of simplicity is provided and what options are included in the SCADA? That question came in for both Simplicity and iFix. I think you answered on the 2024 piece, Jimmy, but if you could fill in.
Yeah, I can go into that. Yeah, so what we've done, as I mentioned, we kind of collapse the options so that we're basically including all the major capabilities in there. So with Simplicity, it is actually the Pro server. So you get, and again, this is some of the additional value of going to this model versus the traditional model, is you get the digital graphic replay, lets you play back screens using Historian, for example, which is typically an option. SPC capabilities are built in. System Sentry, which monitors the health of the entire system. A lot of these that were, and as well as some others. So it's really all the things that were in the traditional Pro server version are now included with the system as well. With iFix, it is the Plus version. The only thing we've kind of kept separate are some of the things, the e-signature and some of the things required for some of the regulated industries, like the e-signature and stuff for both Simplicity and iFix are still options, but pretty much everything else is included. So no more of purchasing the recipe management or the SPC module and that kind of stuff. It's all just included in the core offering now with Prophecy SCADA Ultimate.
Well, the next question, are drivers drivers included?
Yeah, good question. Actually, I didn't touch on that part, but yeah, all the standard Simplicity drivers are included with Simplicity. The basic drivers for iFix are included. So that's like the Modbus and those type of drivers. And then we still have the IGS offering as well. That is still separate, meaning you'd add how many IGS servers you require for your system. And there is addition that's actually that hasn't changed. It's still the same pricing and everything else, but we do include the standard drivers, that are typically part of the system, and then the IGS offers about a couple hundred different protocols, and then things like OPC UA and MQTT are also included in the basics, and then so again, for the most part, it's the core drivers that you need are going to be included, but anything like IGS or DMP and those are still separate.
I think I'll take a crack at this next one, and then Jimmy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but who can we contact if we have questions to bring this to customers? I think you can reach out to your channel partners who you work with on commercial opportunities, whoever your partner of record is. If you're not sure who that is, you can always reach out to me and I can help navigate to where it needs to go to. We can also help support with our business consultants that are there. So we're here to support you with that. So Jimmy, I don't know if you want to add anything else to that.
I think that covers it. Yeah, I think the key is, not everyone's an expert on it yet since it's very new. We just announced it to the partners. I don't know when was a couple weeks ago or so, but yeah, definitely go to them. If they need questions, they can reach out to us, or if you're, like Paul said, if you're not sure, just reach out and we'll find someone to help you with it as well.
Do we have any simple C-Sense examples we can take to our customers?
I kind of talked a little bit about this in the webinar, but there are some examples now included with C-Sense. So when you purchase it separately or as part of the SCADA Ultimate bundle, we do have several sample analytics. Like I think I mentioned, there's an alarm pattern monitoring, so you can see how things occur. There's an ML one. There's even a sensor health one where you can just point it. It's as simple as pointing a tag, an analog tag to it, to the system, and it'll monitor and start looking for anomalies that exist. So you can find out if it's drifting and those type of things. The idea behind those examples is they're useful, but they're also good starting points to help you kind of understand how to leverage C-Sense. And then what some customers will do is take them and modify them to kind of suit their more specific needs in that case. But yeah, there are some examples included with the software, and I think, for this group, I think Michael showed there is some training opportunities available there as well that can really help. And again, the idea here is that hopefully, at least with SCADA Ultimate, we're providing the software. They just have to choose to allocate some tags to it and to help them start down that journey. And I think this team can be part of how they get going on that as well.
I could go through those exciting slides again if you wanted to show you the C-Sense training.
Yeah.
So we're down to our last question. If you have any other ones, please enter them now. We'll try to get them in. But this last one, I think, Mike, is for you. What education entitlements are included in the acceleration plan?
Good question. So there's actually a matrix on our website that shows some of this stuff, and there's actually a document at the learning platform that also outlines this. So definitely avail yourself of that if you need the detailed knowledge. But basically, if it's self-paced learning, it's included in an acceleration plan, both at the Premier and Enterprise level. So that would be your e-learning, your video-based training, and that practical hands-on where you're working with your own demo software. If it's an instructor-led training program, it's generally not included in the acceleration plan. An instructor leading the training is a premium service. However, if you're an enterprise customer, you will have a set of credits based on the size of your contract, and you'll be able to use those to offset the fees for your instructor-led training. So your badge for solution providers and whatnot, all your self-paced training and your badges are included. Your instructor-led training has some special qualifiers on it depending on your tier. For customers, if you've got acceleration plan customers, all their self-paced training is included. They'll have to pay for instructor-led training.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. So, hey, we're up at the top of the hour. This is our last webinar for the year. Thank you, everyone that's joined this year. We're looking forward to starting again in January with a full slate for 2026. As it's the end of the year, I just want to say thank you to all our system integrators for your partnership. Your engagement and partnership is critical to our success. So we want to continue to build that with you. I wish you and your families a happy holiday and a happy new year, and look forward to working with you together in 2026. That being said, with the fourth quarter closing out, if there's anything else we can do to help support opportunities that are closing in December, please feel free to reach out and we can help with that. So with that, I'll say thank you to our speakers today, Jimmy, Mike, and Nida, and have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.